And welcome back. You know, on May 11th, Nourish the Soul will hold an Awaken to Your Best You event. It's a beautiful event. And joining us with all the details, we have the goals of the event. We have founder Elizabeth Tripp. I don't know if she's related to Ann Tripp in New York City. She works at Steve Harvey Morning Show. We have to check that out.
Yeah, we have to check that out
Yeah.
because it's amazing to hear that someone has my same last name.
And she spells it the same way with the double P at the end.
You're gonna have to give me that
You
connection.
guys are tripping.
Yeah, we are.
So tell us about your wonderful work.
My work is really wonderful. Thank you for pointing that out. It's all about helping people get to the root of their imbalances with
That's important, the root.
Yeah, the root of their imbalances with food and their body.
Yes.
Because how many of us have found ourselves doing this in front of the TV or trying to work really hard at the gym to change our body and not seeing the results that we want to get? Or have just completely given up on a program and have swung to the other side of the pendulum. Or have really sort of began to count calories and really meticulously try to eat only a certain amount. All of those things can leave you so exhausted.
And if you're counting calories and only try to eat a particular amount, you can suffer from malnutrition.
You can, and you can suffer from just feeling overall just tired, malaise, and you actually get yourself deeper into a conundrum. So I look at things a lot differently. And so when I use the word root, I'm really looking at the emotions behind why we're doing what we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a pretty new concept. I'm not like a traditional nutritionist, actually.
And get to the root of the problem, because sometimes, a doctor will put a Band-Aid on it.
Yep.
But what caused that?
Exactly.
Where did it come from?
So sometimes we use food like a Band-Aid to make ourselves feel better, to try to help ourselves get a sense of, ooh, I feel good, or well-being, or I want to not feel this sadness or this sort of tough thing that I'm going through. And on the opposite, sometimes we don't eat to not feel our feelings too. And as well as these things can spill over into the way we exercise or the way we behave with our bodies.
So do you transform the way you're thinking by nourishing the soul?
Yes.
Oh, that's it. Oh.
I love that. So Nourish the Soul is about helping people see what emotions they have that they're not dealing with, that are deep within themselves, that are actually changing their conscious conversations with themselves. So how someone can feel when they're very little, maybe not good enough, or like they're a bad boy or girl. And then as they get into older adulthood, they actually start to think, oh, well, who I am isn't okay, and how I look isn't good. And so it can translate into a lot of different negative narratives with yourself and who you are, which can really influence the way you eat.
So give yourself a paradigm shift.
Yes.
By nourishing the soul.
Yeah, so when you clear out these emotions, so I help people in a guided discussion using my intuitive abilities to really clear out their emotions that they haven't dealt with from way past and long time ago. And
so you got a lot of people that are carrying extra baggage.
Yeah. You know the lingo.
Yeah, who comes up to you? Who comes to you, though, for this help?
All types of people. So people who have found themselves that they're sort of at a crossroads, like, why am I overweight and I can't lose it? And I've been on every single diet, every single thing, every program. I've spent tons and tons of money, and I don't understand. And so I actually help them see how their emotions are driving them to do what they're doing with food and why they're stuck in this cyclical pattern. Or I get people who are like, I just don't feel well. Like, I want to be happy. I want to feel proud and confident in my body. But every time I look in the mirror, I don't see that. And so I help people actually access all the really beautifulness and light and confidence and joy that they have within themselves already by just clearing out the old.
Yeah, yeah. So is it safe to say the way you think and the way you see yourself, or the way you think, really, is the way you're going to be?
Yes. One of the greatest teachers, the Buddha, said, what you think, you become. And so how we think about ourselves actually affects our outward reality. And if we're holding on to negative emotions and not knowing how to let them out, we're really keeping them stored in. And when we do this, we push them down even further. So it can create a really unhealthy dialogue with ourselves.
So get that paradigm shift going.
Yes.
And say to yourself, I can and I will.
And it's even deeper than that. It's actually seeing what you've been holding on to, these kind of silly little stories you've been telling yourself, and going, this story doesn't serve me anymore. I want to make a new story for myself about food, about my body, and how I cultivate well-being.
So give us a little, how do you get people to change their mind, their thought pattern?
That's a very good question.
Because when you tell yourself, whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. Whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right.
That's a very...
So say you can.
Say you can. Well, I'll give you a little example. I had a client who came in and, you know, she's very tall. She's about 5'11". At the time, she probably weighed like 190, 195. She wasn't happy in her weight. And so in our sessions, I actually helped her see where in her childhood she began to say something not so positive about herself and where she picked that up from, and how she in turn held that within her and used food in a not so healthy way to try to make herself feel better. But she ended up packing on the pounds. And so when I helped her actually see that through this guided conversation, she got rid of it. She was like, I want to throw this out. And then through meditation and breath work and mantras and declarations.
Do all of that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I help them create
Seems like a little bit of hypnotherapy in there too.
No hypnotherapy. No, it's a very special, innovative technique.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's really cool. And at my workshop, Awaken to Your Best You, on May 31st, who attends is going to be able to see what this innovative approach is all about.
How's that going to look? What's going to happen there?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Well, it's at the Center for Remembering and Sharing, which is in Union Square in Manhattan, 6:45 to 9:45 p.m. And we're going to gather together to help everybody see what it is that's holding them back. You know, have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I wish, I know I can look better. I know I can be happier, but where is it? Why can't I find it? Or for a lot of men and women, when they go to the beach, like, I want to look like them. I want their body. I'm going to help people access that.
Watch out.
Inside of them. Find that energy within them. And then really help that translate to how they're feeling. And then when you feel better, guess what? You eat better. Yeah.
And then everybody around you wants to feel better too.
They want to be
contagious.
around you. Yeah. Are you feeling the contagious energy here?
Where can we find? I do. Where can we find more information on you?
So you can find me at my website. It's ElizabethMTripp.com, and that's where you can find all the information to how I work with clients privately, how you can sign up for the workshop, and I have a talk radio show.
Where is it? Where can we hear?
Yeah,
Where can we listen?
It's on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. on talkradio.nyc. So you can also find that on my website, and I talk all about how to nourish the soul.
Yeah, I'm going to get you a pendulum because I think you can get into a little hypnotherapy.
Hypnotherapy.
You just called it something else, but you use some of the techniques.
I have a very special technique, and I'm an innovator. I'm an intuitive healer, I would say. So I use a lot of my own gifts. So I don't need the pendulum because I have my mind.
Thank you so much. Give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Tripp, RN, CDN, owner and founder of Nourish the soul.
Thank you.
I
Thank
feel
you.
nourished.
Oh, well,
Just with
I'm
this conversation
so
right
happy.
here.
Yeah, that's
Thank
what
you
I
so
love
much.
to do.
Okay, we have to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.